As officials in Hawaii continue recovery efforts, lawsuits are mounting from those affected by the devastating fires. Multiple class action suits have already been filed against Hawaiian Electric, accusing the company's power lines of accelerating the fire spread. Personal injury lawyer Ted Spaulding is with me now here in Atlanta. So good to see you. It seems really early. I mean, the recovery efforts are still underway, but then, you know, what's the impetus for these class action suits already being assembled and filed?
Yeah, I agree with you. It does feel early. I mean, we're only a week or two out from the disaster. And I think the easiest correlation is the PG&E lawsuits that we saw years ago, and a couple that have happened just here recently. And those took some time to file, still a month or two after the disaster. So this one's very, very early. Couple of things that are interesting with class actions. A lot of it is lawyers competing. Yes, you want to be somewhat early. You're scared, like with PG&E, that there's going to be bankruptcy filings, those sorts of things. Especially with this Maui one, because we're already, the death toll is higher than the PG&E disaster.
And we're talking California, fire in California. And so the death toll is high, and then the number of people missing, that number is very high as well. So what do these attorneys have to assemble in order to make for a concrete lawsuit pursuing what they believe to be the electric company at fault? Right.
So again, looking at what happened with PG&E is a perfect example. So what you're looking at is there is a duty of an electric company when you're putting up lines. You have to maintain the lines. You got to follow industry standards. You need to make sure your equipment's up to date. It's not going to start a fire unnecessarily. So that's what you're looking at. You're looking at your ordinary negligence type things. Now, obviously with PG&E, it went way beyond because they were so negligent, it became criminal. So what we're waiting to hear is, do things start to come out where, like with PG&E, we're hearing with the Hawaii Electric Company, things about not maintaining. They had notice. They didn't take down trees that they were supposed to take down, old lines, those sorts of things. So it's a maintenance issue more than anything.
And it would seem that universally people want accountability, but at the same time, is there a feeling that this is a little predatory? You know, that perhaps people who are still very wounded, still looking for family members who have still been separated, you know, from loved ones. This might be the last thing on their minds, but instead many people are being presented with the idea by attorneys. I mean, what is your feeling on that?
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely understandable, especially to the public, that this feels very predatory, especially when you're a week or two out from a disaster. I think some people may still be missing. And here we are, we already have 2 lawsuits. So totally understand that concept. It's a balancing. It's understandable that things need to start moving forward. You've got things like rush to insurance because we have so many people affected and only a certain amount of insurance coverage that might be out there. So it's understandable from the lawyer's perspective, hey, we can't wait forever. Yeah. But it does feel early, and I can understand other family members and the general public looking at this and going, this feels a little predatory at this point.
Flip side to that, at the same time, might accelerate, for lack of a better word, encourage an investigation with greater brevity?
Yes, it could, and that's obviously part of the goal, I'm sure, from most of the attorneys, is yes, we're pursuing civil, but using our resources, what can we find, and even earlier than the government, that would lend toward these things like PG&E. Are we going to have gross negligence, some really bad act here? Or are we just talking an ordinary negligence situation where, yeah, they could have done a better job?
All right, we'll leave it there. Ted Spaulding, great to see you.
Good to see you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.